for the police division as they move forward in the next chapter of their leadership. We just completed a very comprehensive, multifaceted process in which we went deep in the weeds to make sure that we evaluated the candidates, looked hard at them, probably grueling for them at some points along the way, but we did it right and we did it thorough to make sure that we deliver a good end product to the citizens, to the police division, and the city of Norfolk as a whole, and we did that, and I feel proud of that effort, everybody that had a hand in developing that process and putting it together and making all the pieces of the puzzle come together so that we had all the information we needed to make a sound decision. At the end of the day, we evaluated that information that came to us from the Civil Service Commission, it came to us from peer review, from a subcommittee of the elected officials, from a forum that happened right in this room where there was input given from a broad-based audience so that we had collectively a picture painted of what was right for the next police chief of the city of Norfolk. And we got that. And so I met with Mayor Clausen last week. We discussed those findings. As the hiring authority, I made the recommendation to him that we move forward with Brian Tighe as our next police chief, and he concurred. And so today, it's our privilege and honor to give you all the opportunity to hear from Brian, to congratulate him, and introduce him to Norfolk and to the world. Our next chief of police is Brian Tighe. And at this point, I'll let Mayor Clausen say a few kind words.
Thanks, Scott. So this was quite the process, and Chief Tighe, or Brian Tighe, was thrown into the process of interim city chief, and he did a tremendous job there, and showed his true leadership through that whole process. And then, as Scott stated earlier just now about the interviewing process, it was very extensive, and he did a tremendous job through that process also. I think his leadership ability, his character, will serve our proud Norfolk Police Department well moving in the future. And with that said, I'd like to welcome you up and introduce our new police chief.
Good afternoon. I want to start by thanking Mayor Clausen, City Administrator Scott Cordes for their trust and confidence in me. It is an honor to accept this position of Chief of Police for City of Norfolk. I have been locked into this agency for almost 36 years of my life. I've had the privilege of working with some of the most dedicated professionals in law enforcement. It's been an honor to serve this community. Not me.
That was a councilman. I think he was doing that on purpose. Go ahead.
I am proud of the work that we've done together and the relationships that we have built along the way. I am grateful for the support of city leaders, excuse me. Not only the leaders, but the officers. They've all rallied, and it's really come around really good at the police station. Morale is up, and not only the leaders, the officers, but the citizens seem to be supporting us very well. I believe in the mission of the police division, and I believe in the people that are behind the badge. And when I say behind the badge, I mean the support of. We're also strongly supportive of dispatch and the records and everybody else that's working there as far as the community service officers and the property officers. But as we go forward, we remain committed to professionalism, building trust in the community, and preparing this agency for the future. I'm excited. I know it might be hard to tell, but I am excited to continue working as chief for the city of Norfolk. Thank you.
I'd like to take this time to remind everybody to turn your cell phone off, please.
It kind of hurt my momentum there.
Yeah. Sorry about that. That was Councilman Webb, by the way.
Nick, your questions?
Yeah, if anybody has any questions? Hi, Chief. Congratulations on getting this appointment. What is it that makes you excited to become Chief of Police for Norfolk?
The biggest thing I see is improving morale and just building something that's going to be here way past I am. I care a great deal about the people at the police department, and if I can make this a better place, that's what I want to do. I'm excited about providing the best service possible to the community. I want to be an open book and as transparent as possible. Those are our key things.
Chief, congratulations. Nationwide, recruiting and retaining officers is difficult. The city statement noted that 15 officers have been onboarded under your leadership. How have you been able to do that since you took over the interim role, and how do you plan in the future to be able to effectively recruit and retain officers?
Yeah, we have had a lot of success recruiting, and it's been a team effort. It's not just me. It's leadership within the city that's given us the reins to go out and recruit. It's a team effort as far as officers that are talking to other people and getting them interested in coming here and the momentum that we have going here. So it's a totality of things. It's not just me, but we did hit the ground running as far as recruiting. Onboarding 7 part-time officers was huge because that provided the instant relief we needed at a time we were taking on a lot of water. Since then, we've onboarded 8 officers, and we are doing backgrounds on 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13 right now. So we're getting in good shape, but it's going to take a while before they're actually productive because its training process takes just shy of a year before they're on their own. Where the 7 part-time officers are already trained and pretty familiar with the Norfolk Police Division, so they were put to work right away. Go ahead, Paul.
Yeah, Chief, again, congratulations, as the other folks have said. You mentioned morale. To what do you attribute the change in morale or the increase in morale?
Well, I don't want to go deep into the woods, but we are, it's changed. I don't want to say anything negative. I mean, I appreciate the foundation that was there before me, but I lead differently. I'm purposely engaged with the people, and I'm in uniform every day, Paul. I told other people, I'm a plow horse, not a show horse. I work on the street whenever there's a need for me to be there. I'm available. And I just purposely make myself present so that people can come to me if there is an issue or if they have an idea. Or so, like I said, I just lead differently. So.
Question right here, Chief. Congratulations, by the way. What does this mean for the future for the residents of Norfolk now that you're the new police chief?
I think they may already be seeing a change. We want to be as transparent and engaged in the community as possible. Right now, with staffing, we are kind of in a holding pattern where we are not as proactive as we should be or could be because of the low numbers of officers on patrol. But as we get more and more staffing, I see us making a lot of positive contacts with the citizens. I think you've seen, like in our social media, more and more engagement with the community that way. They can see what we actually are doing. They can see we're not robots and that we're real people and we're approachable. And that's what I want. I want to be a department that the whole community is proud of. I want to be a department where if economic development is showing some business, the town or the city, that they see the police department as an asset to the community. Same with people moving here with their families. I want them to see the police department as a positive pillar to the community.
Chief, it goes without saying, but it's important to have good working relationships with other law enforcement agencies in the area. At times in the past, different agencies haven't always seen eye to eye. How do you plan to have good working relationships with fellow law enforcement agencies in the area?
It's pretty similar to good relationships within the department. You got to stay engaged with them and communicate. Have a really good working relationship with the sheriff's office. But yes, just communication within those departments.
Chief, what was the decision process like on your side to decide you want to be the police or the chief of police?
As stressful as it was, I'm glad we went and did it that way, because it shows that I do have the skills to lead the police division. It wasn't just handed to me. I did have the benefit of 8 months of showing what I could do, which was helpful. But
This might be for Scott or Mayor Clausen. What factors that kind of made Chief Tighe emerge as the leading candidate for the job, and was he able to show sort of during his 8 months as interim chief that he was capable? Obviously he showed he was capable, but was that a contributing factor in giving him the job?
You were kind of more involved in that.
Well, I would tell you that during the process that we evaluated Brian, and it was intense, the sincerity by which he talked about his conviction to the police division was overwhelming. The manner in which he talked, it displayed a sense of pride and commitment and loyalty that was impossible to ignore. And so when you care that much about something, when you're invested that much in something, you can't fail. So you surround yourself with people that support you, and you have incredible staff that are ready to do the hard work. It's a recipe for success. And so Brian made me a believer. He made me a believer by the way he told the story about his conviction, his commitment, his dedication, and what he was willing to do and sacrifice personally to make the police division a better place now and in the future. And so I appreciate a humble man. I appreciate a man that speaks the truth, and I appreciate a man that doesn't pretend to be anything that he's not. And you get what you get with Brian Tighe. And I am grateful at the depth at which he made me a believer that he's the right guy for the job today.
Scott, we've heard about morale, and obviously it was a tumultuous period for a bit within the department. What have you seen acting chief at the time, Tighe, do to improve the morale within the division?
Well, part of it I was here personally, part of the time I wasn't, but the collective sum of all of those pieces is he made the investment of time and energy. He put himself in the trenches, so to speak, to find out what the issues were, to spend time with the people that had the needs, to envelop all that, and to participate at every level along the way to make sure that they knew that he was there and that he cared. So, you know, it's easy to sit in your office and hope that everything works out. But if you really want to do it right, you have to engage the folks. You got to spend time on the street. You've got to deal with the problems, because if you hide from them, if you don't deal with them, it's like a bad cancer that'll just keep eating away. Brian addressed those things. He chose to be engaged. He chose to talk about the tough stuff, and he made an investment in those people. And so I believe that he's demonstrated by his actions that he cares. It's impossible to come to any other conclusion.
Question for Chief Tighe. Police Division's obviously undergoing a major expansion renovation project right now. Can you sort of detail some of the adjustments you guys have had to make as that process has begun, and some of the adjustments you anticipate as that transition occurs?
Yeah, we haven't actually broke ground on that, but we anticipate we're going to have to be flexible, nimble, move around things. But for the most part, there is a plan to get some of the construction done, and then we will move, and they will update the rest of the building. So.
Mayor Clausen, what do you want people in Norfolk to know about the future of the police division under Chief Tighe?
Well, first and foremost, it's like we're in good hands, right? Chief Tighe went through an extensive process. He's got proven leadership skills. You've got an ex-chief of the fire department standing right here talking about those skills, and Scott did a tremendous job as chief here. So you've got good people looking into and reviewing the process, and ultimately the strongest candidate came forward, and we're going to be in good hands. We've already got a tremendous police department. He's going to add to it and keep it moving the direction we want to see for the city of Norfolk. So I'm very comfortable in his leadership. So.
Chief, question for you. Any major challenges or goals that you're hoping to address in the near future?
The near future is, besides providing the best service possible to the community, is still staffing. I want to get our leadership in position and get officers trained up. So I'd like to be fully staffed with some highly trained officers. Those are our first goals.
How many uniformed officers do you guys have right now?
What is it, 36 right now, I think? But we're in the process of onboarding several more. So.
When you recruit a prospective officer, what is it about Norfolk that you try to sell them on?
The camaraderie, the teamwork. I like to compare it, not everybody played high school football or basketball, but the teamwork's similar. And I think a lot of people find that enjoyable as far as the teamwork. So. Also, the 12-hour shifts, having every other weekend off. There's several good things that we got going. So. We like to get people to training, make them the best officers possible so they can develop their own leadership abilities. So that's another plus for our agency.
Last question I have. Obviously, since you were named interim in August, you've been working hand in hand with Captain Bauer on sort of running the department. He's been there about as long as you have, or around the same time. How influential and helpful has he been in helping you guide the police department?
Captain Bauer has been instrumental in running the police department. His knowledge and experience has been a great help to me, especially in the budget and just past things that I was unaware of.
Last question, feel-good question, congratulations, but you're in a badge and uniform all day long, and sometimes So for some of those people who say, okay, Brian, you're just, a police officer. But at the end of the day, what is the human side that you hope that people can take away from who you are?
Norfolk's where I go to church. It's where my wife and I go to socialize. I think people are gonna see that I'm approachable. I think most people already know that they can come and talk to me. That's probably the biggest thing, is that they can email me, text me, call me, and I'll get back to them. I'm pretty responsive to their concerns.
Any other questions? All right, very good. Thank you, everybody, for coming.
Good job.
You forgot to say we're going to issue warnings. And not say that we wanted a warning for speeding.
Oh, yeah, no speeding tickets for anybody.
No speeding tickets for anyone. No speeding tickets.
NCN Studios are sponsored by Faith Regional Health Services.